Welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
Welcome back. We're here today with part 2 of our Cabral House Calls. Hopefully you got to join us yesterday. That was episode 2605. Today's episode 2606. You probably already guessed that. But if you want to read along with all the questions from the community today, to see what they wrote in about, head on over to stephencabral.com/2606. And while you're over there, do not forget to pick up your free copy of The Rain Barrel Effect, my book that has now been an international #1 bestseller across most of the world, thanks to you. So I appreciate that. And now, a few years later, after its debut, I try to give the book away free to everyone who wants a copy. Anybody who will read it or give it away, you just pay for the shipping. That's literally it. So I pay for the book and you pay for the shipping. It's about 50-50. It cost me a little over $7 to print that myself. That is why I did not want to go the traditional publisher route. I've already done that 3 times before. And I said, nope, I want to be able to get this book to people for as low cost as I can. So you just pay for shipping. That's literally it. So again, that's at stephencabral.com. You'll find it at stephencabral.com. All right, let's get into today's questions. Love being able to spend some time every single weekend answering what the community has for questions. So let's get into it. Of course, no medical advice, medical treatment plans, medical cures, or medical diagnosis, but we can do something even better. We can help you get to the underlying root cause as to what may be ailing you in the first place. All right. Carolyn is up first. Carolyn says, hi, I stumbled across this show last week while searching the podcast app for podcasts about my problem. I feel like I found a treasure trove and I'm busily binge listening to see what I can learn. Happy to hear that, Carolyn. One thing I want to say, Carolyn, and for everybody, go to stephencabral.com/podcasts. There's a search box. Type in any keyword that you think may be part of your symptoms or issues, like headaches or migraines or lupus or fibromyalgia or rheumatoid or bloating, like whatever it might be, EMFs, you'll find podcasts on it. So that's why I always like to let people know you're welcome to write in. I love answering your questions. It's not about that, but I don't want you to have to wait 12 weeks before it gets read on the podcast live. All right. And then again, if you ever can't find a show on your topic, I still have probably done it. So write in at cabralsupportgroup.com, free Facebook group, our private group, ask for a show, on it, and the amazing Michelle will be able to find the show. All right, Carolyn. Let's see what you said. My question is, how can I diagnose and address the root causes of my health issues? I live in a country where I can't buy Equilife testing kits or find functional medicine practitioners. I live in China. I can test blood nutrients and hormone levels in a local hospital, but that's about it. My symptoms include poor sleep quality, I wake at night, bloating after meals, chronic loose stools, no matter what I eat, susceptibility to yeast infections, difficulty losing fat despite an active lifestyle, and 95% whole food diet, chilblains on my hands. What should I do? Okay, so here's the good news, is that you don't have to run at-home lab testing. Many people in our practice can't afford at-home lab testing. Even though we have the lowest prices in the world on at-home labs, they still can't. And that's okay. Honestly, that doesn't mean we can't not help them, right? Of course we have to help people. So here's the other thing you can do. You can go to integrativehealthpractitioner.org. Go to the practitioners tab. Look for an integrative health practitioner level 2. Most of them have virtual practices. They can speak to you anywhere in the world over the iBone app or one of the software that they decide to use. And they're going to help you based on your symptoms. Even an IHP level 1 could help you as well. They really can if you're not going to be doing lab testing. So that's what I would do. I really would. I would work with a practitioner that will help you then work through the protocols. And they're going to be able to help you with the sleep, the difficulty losing fat, the susceptibility to yeast infections, no doubt about it. All right. So that's what I would do. integrativehealthpractitioner.org/practitioners. choose a practitioner somewhere in the world that maybe has the same time zone as you. And I think that they'll be really helpful, without a doubt. All right, Vanessa's up next. I'm very thankful for the support and education you provide to so many. You are truly a blessing. Thank you, Vanessa. I appreciate that. My question is about Mycoplasma pneumonia. I tested high for this infection over a year ago and have been on a few natural supplements to help lower it, biocidin being one of them. My numbers went down, but it never went away. I have been working on healing from autoimmune, Hashimoto's, mercury toxicity, and working on drainage, detoxing, balancing deficiencies, etc. After coming off my supplements for a few months, because I felt so good, the Mycoplasma pneumonia increased quickly. Then I started itching, coughing anytime I would laugh, and increased inflammation again. I couldn't believe how quickly it happened. I just finished the Candida metabolic and vitamins test, aka organic acids, to check my gut as well. What do you suggest? Okay, that's exactly what I suggest. I suggest looking at underlying gut issues, intestinal permeability, stress on the immune system. So when I work with someone, and my team work with someone with Lyme, Epstein-Barr virus, or viruses in general, Lyme, viruses, parasites, and mold. I wanted to make sure I got those correct with basically stealth pathogens, okay? We find that sometimes when people come to us, they've worked with many other practitioners, they've done protocols, they're still showing up high on these things a year later, and they've already been through different protocols with practitioners. Here's one of the reasons why. It's not just about using herbals for the rest of your life. That's not what it should be. What you need to do is get your own immune system strong enough to be able to fight off the bacteria. So for people that don't know, Mycoplasma pneumonia is basically a bacteria that's often found in the sinuses, other areas of the body. I see it connected a lot of times with yeast overgrowth or mold. And so what we do is, yes, we do our CBO protocol, and we do our CBO finisher, and we do our mold protocol. But at the same time, we're helping using the de-stress protocol that I write about in the rain barrel effect to improve the immune system. Because by the time, and I'm going to do a whole podcast on this, so stay tuned. It's going to literally be called, I think, mold, Lyme, parasites, and something like that. So I haven't come up with the title yet. But the reason why these types of people never seem to be able to get better, it has to do with Th2 immune system dominance. I read a little bit about it in the rain barrel effect. I'm going to be doing a free podcast in the next couple of weeks. Stay tuned for it, okay? So yes, run the big five if possible. Work on the underlying root balances, strengthen the body, strengthen the immune system, and it will then do its own job that it knows how to do of removing that mycoplasma. Now, you still need to do other things, but then allow your own immune system to take hold after that, all right? All right, Amy's up next. Hi, Dr. Cabral. I recently tried your 7-day detox. I'm wearing a continuous blood glucose monitor and found that the daily shake kept my blood sugar elevated in the 120s to 130s, 2 to 3 hours post-morning and afternoon shake. I'd like to try for a longer detox, but this level made me uncomfortable. Any thoughts on ingredients in the shake that might have spiked this? My blood sugar is usually good at getting back to the high 80s to mid-90s, 2 hours post-meal shakes. Thanks for your help. Really interesting. So let me share with you this. For people that don't know, in the daily nutritional support shake, it shouldn't spike blood sugar levels whatsoever. Again, I'm not giving medical advice. People with type 2 diabetes use it. People on all sorts of low-carb diets use it. You name it, that's why people use it. It's used by thousands of practitioners around the world, tens of thousands of people a month. Anyway, now again, having said that, there's always bio-individuality, so I get that. But I like to use first principles. So let's go back to it. Daily nutritional support, basically almost no fat in it whatsoever. Okay, so we have that. When you look at carbohydrates, it has either 6 carbs in the vanilla or 8 carbs in the chocolate. However, 3 grams of that is fiber. So let's just take that out of the equation. So now we either have 3 carbs or 5 carbs. That is not enough to spike blood sugar. Single-digit carbs, you're going to absorb that before it even gets, you're going to use that in the process of digestion for energy and fuel. It's not going to spike blood sugar, right? 8 grams and below per meal. Typically, there's no spike in glucose is what they found with most type 2 diabetics, and we're looking at diabetics. Okay, so then what's left in that? 15 grams of protein. That's literally it. 15 grams of protein with that fiber should not spike blood sugar. So now, what are we looking at? Because again, I'm not denying the fact, though, that you're getting these readings. What could it be? When you are doing a detox, keep in mind, there is also a greater level of a hermetic stressor in the body. It's why you don't do a detox for more than 21 to 28 days. It's a good thing because it helps to improve autophagy, make the body stronger, just like intermittent fasting, right? An intermittent fast for 12 to 16 hours helps the body actually get stronger because it must adapt to not having fuel for that period of time. Too much stress, though, can do what? Well, increase cortisol levels, which could increase glucose. So it's interesting that you may actually be someone who does better, not like when they're using the daily nutritional support, maybe with something like some blueberries in it, or that you are using, try 1 scoop instead of 2 scoops. How are you reacting to that? So play with the variables, right? Play with the variables. How do you do with the daily nutritional support not on the detox? That would be interesting to see, right? So let me know how that looks. I would love to see that because if literally 3 to 5 carbs and 15 grams of protein, almost no fat, and it's like 100 calories, right? A little over that. If that's spiking your blood sugar and you're not having anything else with it, we've got to look at other things because that should not happen. All right. Again, I'm not saying that you are incorrect and that it's not happening. It is, but we need to look deeper then. Why is that happening? That's my question, right? Always ask why. Okay. So hopefully that was helpful. It probably wasn't, but I at least gave you some places to start to look because that should not happen. All right. Appreciate it, Amy. Let's see. Linda's up next. Hello. My friend has been diagnosed with advanced dementia. Would having her detox and follow the how-tos in your book, The Rain Barrel Effect, reverse her condition? Also, her son-in-law was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer and has a tumor. Is there any hope for these two beloved people? So the answer is yes and yes. So I can't tell you what to do for medical treatment plans. Please do have them read a copy of The Rain Barrel Effect, but also like right away, please send them my 3-part series on Alzheimer's. Then send them my follow-up podcast on the MEND protocol. It's called MEND. Let's just see here. I usually never look anything up, but I can't give you the wrong information on this. So let's go to StephenCabral.com together. Let's go to podcast, like I tell everybody, right? Let's go to the search box. I am that person right now because literally I'm obviously thinking of a lot at the same time and not able to remember. So let's see. I've got how to halt Alzheimer's and brain-based diseases. Okay, so we're going to click on that one. It's episode 746, StephenCabral.com/746. Then I have the 14 risk factors for Alzheimer's. That's 728. Then on episode 732, the 5 proven ways to prevent Alzheimer's and brain-based diseases. So we've got that. There's a more recent episode. Let's go to old Google, Stephen Cabral, and then let's type in MEND protocol, and let's see if it shows up. 2022, there it is. The 25 ways doctors are reversing Alzheimer's and dementia. And that is episode StephenCabral.com, episode 2022. And I need to just see this here. And it's the MEND protocol. Okay, metabolic enhancement and neurodegeneration. So a lot of going back and forth to say, yes, that is it. I just gave you those 4 podcasts. Please pass those along. It will give that person with Alzheimer's and dementia a lot of hope. 90% success rate in reversal of Alzheimer's. The only person that was not was terminal Alzheimer's that was able to reverse it. Check that out. Okay. In terms of pancreatic cancer, there are multiple types of pancreatic cancer. One has not a great prognosis. The others, absolutely a great prognosis. So please look into that. I've talked about it before. I've talked about going to cancertutor.com and other websites in order to be able to get more information on natural cancer-based protocols. All right. Let's do one more question today. This one is from Caitlin. Caitlin says, I've listened to your podcast about HGH, which is human growth hormone, and the one way to increase natural growth hormone naturally. I actually gave many ways to increase it naturally. I'm curious in your opinion on semolaurin, as it is supposed to help the pituitary gland make human growth hormone and not actually be a replacement for HGH. I'm currently taking semolaurin injections, and although I've researched it, I would love to hear your take on the supplement. All right, so first things first, I just want to put in the correct spelling so that you're able to search this. And there's no quiz, obviously. So we're just going to put this in here for you. So my team will get that in. And anybody who searches now Semilaurin will find both spellings. All right. So Caitlin, let's give you your answer. Semilaurin is interesting. It's actually a peptide. So it's peptide-based therapy, which I like more than actually injecting the hormone into the body. Now, Semilaurin, though, is an interesting one because it's almost HGH, right? You're injecting a peptide that's almost HGH. So what it's allowing your body to do is when you inject it is telling your body to produce more human growth hormone than it's currently producing at the moment. And that has to do specifically with the pituitary gland. So it's basically saying to your pituitary gland, whatever you're producing right now, let's produce more of it. And that's based on the amount of the injection that you are doing. So I've done a lot of shows on growth hormone. Growth hormone, here's the thing. It's different for children, developing children, ages like 10 to 18 years old, than it is when we're adults. The higher the growth hormone as an adult, right now at least, the best research that I've seen is actually linked to greater issues of cancer and not great longevity. Where people with lower levels of growth hormone, now I'm going to give you, there is too low, so you don't want too low because then you have muscle loss, bone loss, low repair, skin aging, so much, right? So there's a sweet spot. You want to be able to improve your growth hormone naturally, but you don't want too much of it, which then might potentially lead to not as long of a life as you can. So I always recommend the sweet spot. I recommend boosting growth hormone as naturally as you can, improving deep sleep, improving sleep overall, reducing blue light at night. All the tips that I gave you, I gave a lot of tips on promoting your own natural growth hormone. So maybe you're using Semilaurin and then you taper off and then maybe you come off completely and see how your body's doing on its own. So I'm going to keep it at that. Everybody should always make the best decisions for them, but I worry about too much hormone replacement, especially earlier in life, as well as growth hormone, not just testosterone placement, estrogen, progesterone, etc. I worry about growth hormone, which is being used in a lot of anti-aging based practices right now. So hopefully that was helpful. And again, optimize your body, no doubt about it. Be a little bit wary though of injectable hormones that might take your levels super physiological higher than your body would naturally produce. All right, that's typically when you get into trouble. Hopefully this was helpful today. I thank you. I appreciate you. If you haven't yet shared this show with someone that you think it could help, I would love for you to do that. I'll be back tomorrow with our Mindset and Motivation Monday. Take care, everybody. Before you go, I wanted to ask you this question. What if I could teach you in just a couple of hours how to transform your thyroid, hormones, adrenal, cholesterol, blood pressure, blood sugar, weight loss, energy, mood, brain, pregnancy, anti-aging, or many other health-related issues? After 20 years in private practice, after seeing and overseeing 250,000 client appointments, I sincerely feel I have the real-world data and have found the answer you've been searching for. So what I've done is spent hundreds of hours of my own time refining what you need to know in order to uncover your underlying root cause health issues and then begin to rebalance the body and bring it back to a state of robust health and wellness. I'm going to teach you exactly what I do in my private practice so you can understand how you got here and now what you need to do in order to heal. You'll receive all of the important success checklists, protocols, and even ways to customize it to make the program fit your busy life. And you'll get all of this at a fraction of the price. Let me save you the time, money, energy, stress, and frustration of not knowing what to do next. Instead of reading dozens of books on the topic and seeing multiple practitioners, I will condense everything that you need to know in just a few hours of video tutorials that you can watch and listen to anywhere. Together, we will make this healing process an enjoyable one that you can take with you for the rest of your life. I wish you all of the best of health and happiness, and I hope to be able to guide you on your healing journey through my health results accelerators. Simply choose the health imbalance you're currently suffering from, and by the end of today, you'll know what went wrong and how to get well again. I guarantee it. For details, head over now to stephencabral.com/courses.